Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Warzone has been out for, well over 2 years at this point. We've got Warzone 2 on the horizon, and pretty much ever since day one of the game dropping, there's been one specific request from certain parts of the community that still has unfortunately not come to fruition yet, and that is a dedicated ranked mode where you jump in. It is skill-based matchmaking to the extreme. You're playing players only on your skill level for actual obtainable rewards that are meaningful, actual ranks that show, hey, I am in the top 0.01% of players, hey, I'm in the top 2% of players, so on and so forth. And now we've got some interesting information regarding a ranked mode coming to Warzone in the future. As we break it down today, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. It does really help the channel grow. Let's go for a like goal today. Let's see if we can cross 2,000 likes. And if you're new to the channel, or if you have not already subscribed, each and every day I got you covered with everything going on in COD, news, updates, loadouts, leaks, you name it, it's all going to be right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button. That way you can always guarantee you are up to date. Now, briefly before we jump right into all the leaks and everything like that for today, I do just want to start off by prefacing everything with the fact that in the past, we, meaning the creators that have had the chance to actually talk to Raven in various calls, have asked about a ranked mode numerous times at this point. It's definitely been brought up in our calls with Raven before some seasonal updates or some reloaded updates several times. And time again, while Raven says that nothing has necessarily been on the, horizon in the near future, it is something they are definitely invested in. It's something that they want to see in the game. And they have expressed a ton of interest in a ranked mode for Warzone in the future, and they've never really been able to give an actual timetable, if you will. They've never been able to say, yes, it's coming in season 5 reloaded, we're going to drop it then and there, and we'll go from that point. So that's led a lot of us to believe that at some point in Warzone 2, we're going to see a ranked mode. That's sort of been the assumption as of, the recent months based off of those conversations. But some leaks and some rumors that we've got today bring up some interesting conversations about ranked. We have one leak saying that ranked mode has been rumored to be coming to Warzone before Warzone 2, which would be huge. Another one saying that's not necessarily the case, and either way, we have an interesting discussion, ahead of us. So getting into this, the initial leak here is coming from the Ghost of Hope. I'm sure by now you guys know that name on the channel. We've talked about Hope several times in the past. We've constantly gotten credible leaks and data mined info from Hope previously, so there is a track record there that makes this leak worth talking about, at least in my own opinion. And in a recent tweet, Hope says, ranked mode for current Warzone is coming before MW2 releases, will not be a full-fledged ranked mode, but will be sort of the blueprint that they use going into Warzone 2. Will be released on current Warzone for testing purposes, Caldera only. Does not look like it'll be released for Fortune's Keep and Rebirth Island. Now, whether or not this leak does come to fruition, it does have, at least in my opinion, some solid foundation in the fact that it would make a lot of sense. Not to mention, in the past, we've seen the release of Iron Trials way back on Verdansk. We saw that go live, and that was a huge hit, not necessarily with the general player base, because obviously it is an increased skill gap, an increased skill mode, but specifically in the niche of competitive players. The top tier streamers and creators that you see dropping 40 bombs constantly, breaking world records, competing in these tournaments, everyone there seemed to love Iron Trials. With the increased health, with different rule sets, it was a big hit amongst that community. And then coming up here, we also have Titanium Trials, I believe it's called. That was sort of on the roadmap for season 4, so that should be coming up here just after the Reloaded update, I believe. And that again is probably going to be a huge hit, especially with that competitive community. Now, like I said, if everything that Hope is talking about here does end up coming to fruition, it would make a lot of sense, especially because ranked in one of these smaller maps like Fortune's Keep or Rebirth might not necessarily be the go-to for the most competitive gameplay, because a lot of those maps, they play the same over a certain amount of time, whereas Caldera, a much larger map, has a lot more randomness to it, if you will, just because there's a larger play space. So that alone would make a lot of sense, but also the fact that if it were to be coming pre-MW2, it would presumably be a Season 5 edition, I would guess, and it'd be a testing mode. That's absolutely what Warzone is right now, just for the general future. I've said this time and time again in previous videos, the stage of Warzone where we're at right now, where we know Warzone 1 is coming to not necessarily an end, but a swift descent here in the next few months once Warzone 2 drops. everything, all these new changes that we're seeing now that might be a bit controversial to some player bases and some player types, it's all just testing. The health updates, testing, adding in certain features like EMP grenades or radar jammers, testing, buffing and nerfing certain guns and with weird values. You're changing recoil to be certain behaviors on some guns. It's all there for players' sentiment to see, does this go over well? Would it work well in the future with a new iteration of Warzone? So if they were trying to perfect Warzone ranked for Warzone 2, dropping it as sort of a beta here in Warzone 1 would make a lot of sense. However, we have to keep in mind that everything Hope is talking about here is just leaks. It is just rumors as of right now. In Modern Warzone, Doug, I'm sure you guys all know who he is. He's also tweeted out recently, sort of with a contrasting opinion or, source here that says, hearing that the rumors of a ranked mode coming to Warzone 1 before the release of MW2 are not true. Now, of course, neither Modern Warzone or Hope give their sources for obvious reasons, but it is sort of a battle of whose information is more up to date, whose information is going to be correct here. So there is that for what it's worth. We can sort of expect that with a lot of leaks like this. There's also the possibility of it not coming to fruition, and that's kind of just the game that this is, with leaks and rumors going around the community. But both, I would say, are credible because of the information that Raven has previously told us. At least in my own opinion, I feel like if they were planning a big ranked release for, season 5, which is not all that far away, they would have used some different wording than what they have given us in responses to our questions in these calls with them, where we said, hey, we'd love to see a ranked mode based off of the Iron Trials rule set. We thought that was really good ground and foundation for that mode. Are you guys working on something like that? The whole idea of, yes, we love the idea of ranked. We'd love to see that implemented, but we don't have any plans, on the table right now, at least in the immediate future. That to me does make it seem a bit more likely that Warzone 2 is going to be our first taste of an actual official ranked mode versus just before when MW2 drops. That said, just like I talked about earlier, even if we don't see a ranked mode happen in the next few months before MW2, Iron Trials was testing for a ranked mode. It was seeing what rule sets work well. Titanium Trials, that's testing for a ranked mode to see if all the changes that are going to be happening in that mode work well for the community and they get good reception. So even if we don't see it happening before MW2 drops and before Warzone 2 drops, it's being worked on, and things that we might see pop up in Warzone might be tethering into the future of what Warzone ranked could be. So sort of a surprising leak here, just because we didn't really expect to hear much on ranked before Warzone 2 dropped, but nonetheless, we'll have to wait and see how things play out. That said, that's going to wrap things up for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated as always. And if you're new here, or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with everything going on in COD. So feel free to subscribe. Make sure you click that bell icon. That way you can always guarantee you're up to date with everything. And if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WHosImmortal for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.